Good morning, students. Today we are going to start the chapter which we already started. You must have seen my previous video in which we started the chapter 2 of history, from trade to territory. Now, in this video, we are going to talk about how slowly the East India Company, which came here to do the trade, ultimately slowly it became the ruler of our country. The journey of East India Company from a company to becoming a ruler of India, that we are going to do in a brief in this particular video. Now, students, in the Battle of Plassey, we have seen that in the Battle of Plassey, due to the betrayal of Mir Jafar, he was one of the commander. He was one of the commander of Sirajud-Dowlah. The Sirajud-Dowlah lost the battle. That famous battle, Battle of Plassey. Now, what Mir Jafar did, he as a commander, he went to fight with the East India Company, but in reality, he didn't fought. He surrendered himself, and due to this betrayal we can say that he was one of the traitors of the country who changed the course of our country from a rich independent country. Slowly we became the colony of Britishers. Now, Mir Jafar, why he did this because from the very beginning, the one of the policy of East India Company was to divide and rule. They told Mir Jafar that if the company will win the second Battle of Plassey, they will make Mir Jafar the Nawab, and that is why Mir Jafar supported him. Now, after winning the Battle of Plassey, which was fought in 1757, the company made him the Nawab. Now, after becoming the Nawab, what kind of a Nawab he was? He was actually a puppet in the hands of the East India Company. Now, every time the company was demanding large amount of money from him, large amount of gift, large amount of concessions, and most of the concessions, most of the gift, most of the money, he was accepting whatever the demands East India Company was raising. He was willingly accepting it because he became Nawab because of them. But at the same time, it was not possible for him to keep on accepting or keep on doing whatever the company is asking, because being a Nawab, he has to show a dignified self to the public. Now, when the company started increasing the demand, Mir Jafar refused to accept each and every demand. And when the Mir Jafar refused to accept each and every demand, then what happened? The company officials started feeling that he is not appropriate. He is not appropriate. Now we have to change him. So company, what he did, they disposed the Mir Jafar, and instead of him, they brought the Mir Qasim. Now Mir Qasim, when the Mir Qasim became the Nawab of Bengal, he was also initially he was also accepting all the demands of the Britishers. But then what happened? The East India Company, East India Company demands were such that after a certain time it was not possible to do all those things. So ultimately, Mir Qasim also, just like Mir Jafar, refused to accept the demand, and then what Mir Qasim did, he had a discussion with the Mughal emperor Shah Alam II and the Nawab of Awadh, and they fought the battle together. The Mir Qasim, the Nawab of Bengal, the Nawab of Awadh, and the Shah Alam II, the Mughal emperor, they all combined together and fought the battle with the East India Company. That battle is known as Battle of Buxar. It was fought in the 1764. Now, that even if they fought with the combined army, they failed to defeat the Britishers, because Britishers army was more organized. They were using the modern warfare technology, and the same thing was that they were more disciplined also. So they ultimately lost to the small East India Company army. Now, after defeating the Mughal emperor, the Mughals were commanding great respect in the society. They after defeating them, not only defeating the Mughal emperor, he defeated the combined army of the Nawab and the Nawab of Bengal and the Nawab of Awadh. The company started feeling that when we defeated the most powerful rulers, now we can, rule the country. They got that kind of a confidence, and on the other side, what happened? The Mughal emperor lost that kind of a prestige which he was enjoying earlier. Now, Mughal emperor, after losing the Battle of Buxar, or we can say, then it was not that the combined army lost the Battle of Buxar. It was rather like a losing India to the East India Company. Now, after defeating them, British East India Company became the Diwan of Bengal. Now you see, once it became Diwan of the Bengal, that too of one of the most powerful and the most richest and the fertile land of India, becoming the Diwan, it sorted out all the financial problems of the East India Company. What was happening earlier? Earlier, they were bringing gold and silver from their country to purchase the clothes and the spices of India, because we Indians were not purchasing anything from them. They were purchasing our things and then they were selling it in the European market. So at that time, it was mutually beneficial for the Indians also and for the East India Company also. But now what happened? After getting the Diwani of Bengal, now company don't need to bring the gold and silver from their country and to purchase the Indian things. What they started to doing, from the taxes, from the revenues which they were collecting from the Bengal, that revenue they used to purchase purchase the clothes from India. That money they used to purchase the spices from India. Now from our money they were purchasing our things and they were selling it in the European market. That is the one thing. Secondly, now they are having enough money, more than rather enough money, to modernize their army, to expand its territories, to do the fortification of their factories. So that one Bengal sorted out all their financial problems. And the company officials, now the company became the Diwan of the Bengal. Now company is collecting the tax. They became they became the Nawab of Bengal. Now every company official started feeling that started feeling themselves as they are the ruler. Now earlier there was one Nawab. Now all the company officers were feeling that they are Nawabs, and they started behaving like this. They started exploiting Indians. They started doing their private trade, and started earning lots of money without paying any kind of a tax. And especially the Clive Lloyd, he became one of the richest person at that time. But at the same time, we must remember that everywhere in the world, and in every house rather, in everywhere you can see the good people as well as the bad people. It is not like that the all company officials were like that. All of them were corrupt. All of them were using the resources of India to get money. It is not like that. Some of them were very sensitive also, and they did their duty with full honesty. But yes, majority of them were like that only. Now and many of them they came India to work, and they were not able to adjust to the climatic condition. They died of various diseases. And those people who made lot of money, and when they went back to their country Britain, they didn't got the same kind of a respect, because nowhere in the world corrupt people gets the respect. So even when they made so much wealth, maybe because of the wealth, they made the bungalow, they purchased the cars, they started living a luxurious life, but in the society they never commanded the respect. Even the Clive Lloyd, when he went back, when he went back, he has to face the he has to face the trial in the court, and ultimately because of all this insult he committed suicide. Thank you.